Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the CEO of Destination New South Wales, the executive producer of Vivid Sydney, Sandra Chipchase.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to commence by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. Pay my respects to elders past and present. I would also like to acknowledge New South Wales Premier Mike Baird, Minister for Trade, Tourism and Major Events Stuart Ayres, Liz-Anne McGregor, Director of the Museum of Contemporary Art Australia, Gail Giles-Gidney, Mayor of the Willoughby City Council, Ignatius Jones, our Vivid Sydney Creative Director, Jess Scully, Curator of Vivid Ideas, Anthony Bastick, Curator of Vivid Light, Stephen Ferris, Curator of Vivid Music, Ben Marshall, Curator of Vivid Live at the Opera House, our Vivid Sydney partners and sponsors. The Destination New South Wales team have been working very tirelessly around this event, members of the creative industry and, of course, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Welcome to the Vivid Sydney 2016 program launch. As you know, each year Vivid Sydney delights and entertains visitors from around the globe. This amazing festival is owned, managed and produced by Destination New South Wales, the state government's tourism and major events agency. The growth of Vivid has been quite remarkable. In 2009, there were about 25 light installations at Circular Quay and about 225,000 visitors. Now, almost 8 years later, through the strategic development plan that Destination New South Wales has put in place, it's seen Vivid Sydney now as the world's largest festival of light, music and ideas. Last year we had over 80 light installations, 1,500 hours of programmed music, as well as over 500 speakers at Vivid Ideas. In 2015, we attracted a record-breaking crowd, including 112,000 visitors from interstate and overseas. So no wonder this event has been named Australia's best tourism event for 3 consecutive years. Since the creation of Destination New South Wales in 2011, overnight visitation to Vivid Sydney has grown by a monumental 640%. This growth has been driven by great programming, exceptional marketing, outstanding state government support, and, of course, initiatives such as the introduction of travel packaging in our domestic and international markets. Last year, 26,000 international visitors arrived here to see Vivid Sydney, with more than 11,000 from China. And this year with our trade partners, we are continuing that promotion. Here are just a few examples of what we're doing around the world. You can see here Japan, Singapore, China, New Zealand, and the USA, just to name a few. But of course, access and inclusion are incredible linchpins of this festival, and we are committed to delivering an experience that is inclusive and accessible. And there are several initiatives we have designed to overcome potential barriers and assist those with special needs or specific mobility requirements. We offer a website with accessible functions, information to assist visitors in their pre-planning, accessible transport options, suggested facilities and travel pathways, plus audio descriptions of the Vivid Light Walk installations and projections, text-to-talk functions on smartphones, managed accessible viewing areas, accessibility maps, accessible drop-off and pick-up zones, as well as pre-booked minibus accessible parking for community groups. Plus, on each night of the event, we have our very friendly and exceptionally well-trained Vivid Sydney volunteers that are scattered throughout the city at the Vivid information booths in the city footprint. This year, we continue our sustainability partnership with the Banksia Foundation, and through such actions as sourcing green power accredited renewable energy sourced from regional New South Wales, extensive promotion of the use of public transport, and of course many waste minimisation measures. In 2016, we've made planning your trip to Vivid Sydney even easier through improved navigation on the Vivid Sydney website. So let's just have a little look at that. In addition, we also have a new and improved Vivid Sydney smartphone and tablet app. It's just bursting with user-friendly content, so let's have a look at that. On Sunday, the 3rd of April, 2.7 million copies of the Vivid Sydney magazine insert will be hitting newspapers around Australia and New Zealand. You can see a copy of the cover there. We have a special print run for all of you as you depart today. Now, events of this scale cannot happen without tremendous support, so I'd like to welcome and thank our Vivid partners and sponsors. Firstly, to the New South Wales Government and the outstanding assistance from all the government departments, people like the New South Wales Police, Ambulance, Fire Brigade, Roads and Maritime, Department of Premier and Cabinet, the list goes on. And I would also like to thank our Vivid Sydney partners, Intel and Huawei. Intel designs and builds essential technologies used to deliver most of Vivid, and we're delighted to have Intel back as a partner for the 6th year. So great, thank you, Kate. Huawei, of course, is a global information and communication technology brand and one of the fastest growing tech brands here in Australia. They are here for the very first year. This is their inaugural Vivid year, so I'd like to welcome them on board as well. In particular, a continued thanks to our Vivid supporters and Canon, Coates Hire, City of Sydney, Google, Jaguar for the very first time, Oracle Liquid, Sydney Harbour Foreshore Authority, our great partners Sydney Opera House, Technical Direction Company and 3200 Lighting. And now, to officially launch this year's incredible Vivid Sydney program, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Premier of New South Wales, Mike Baird.
Well, thanks, Sandra. Have a rest. I don't know about you, but every time Sandra, she's going like 10,000 miles an hour, so it's fantastic. There's lots to do, Sandra, so well done. Look, can I first just start by acknowledging the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to elders, both past and any that might be present with us. We had an incredibly important evening actually at Parliament House last night. A group of parliamentarians from all sides of politics come together in reconciliation and a very important start to the recognition of our Aboriginals community within our Constitution, long overdue and something we're pursuing very strongly. Look, I have here a number of people I want to acknowledge, but I won't, so I'll just acknowledge a couple. Stuart Ayres, the Minister, is doing an outstanding job, obviously as the Minister for Trade and Tourism and Major Events. Ignatius Jones, great to have Ignatius back, such an incredible asset to this great city and nation. Great to have him doing this. And Liz McGregor, I think, is here or might not be here, but if she hasn't, she has let us use her house. So thank you for enabling to use that today. Look, it's not a hard thing to do to get excited about Vivid. Vivid is something that for a long time has captured the imagination. I remember when I first heard about it, I thought, oh, well, this sounds interesting, but how's it going to work? Will it actually attract people? And when you have an ability to have an event that attracts people and shows off your city at the same time, well, I think you've got something very, very special. And that's exactly what I think this is. Indeed, it has grown and grown. Our hope, I remember looking at it and said, maybe we could get 1 million people to come. You know, that was the kind of the view. Can we get 1 million people to come? Imagine that. And I'm pleased to say that last year I think there was 1.7 million. So, I don't know, maybe can we get 10 million people here? That would be a lot. But why not? It would be fantastic to have. And it does continue to grow. And that's saying something. And it's growing because there are many partners that are in this room, and I want to thank you for all that you have done. I mean, it's showing the best part of the city, many of the greatest skills and expertise we have, and it's come together to create something that's just so wonderful, and I want to thank you for that. I mean, tonight, not tonight, but this Vivid, we'll actually be announcing that we're extending, so the days are going up, so it's going up to 23 days, or another 5 days, which is a great thing to do. And there's also 2 additional sites that we are including. So the Botanic Gardens are coming on for the first time this year, together with Taronga Zoo. So I don't know if friends from the Taronga Zoo are here, but what a great thing to do, to have Taronga Zoo. And I'm not sure that looks like it's from the feature of Taronga Zoo, but I think it's going to be much bigger than that. But that's an example. So great to have Taronga Zoo here as well. And look, I think as we go across, you have this position where regular buildings of the city all of a sudden become superheroes. When you see them in their majesty and beauty in a Vivid display, it's quite spectacular. And you actually appreciate these buildings much more together with what comes with them. So part of that, obviously, is our wonderful Opera House, which we many times take for granted, and then occasionally we see it and we think, wow, we are so lucky to have it. And as Vivid, it's always a spectacular thing every year, and The last thing I do want to announce is that this year there'll be something very special on the sales of the Sydney Opera House, and they will become, importantly, a canvas which is honouring Indigenous art. And it is something we're very excited about. That's a bit early, but there it is. So it's the Songlines Project is what it's called, and it's the art of 6 Indigenous artists and directed by Rhonda Roberts, the head of Indigenous Programming at the Sydney Opera House, who we're going to hear from. But please enjoy this. Let's hear a little bit about it, because it is going to be an incredible feature and addition to Vivid, and it's a great recognition of Indigenous art and its contribution to this great country. So thank you again to everyone that is going to play a role in this exciting event. I look forward to seeing you there. Ignatius, thank you for signing on for the next 25 years. It's very kind of you to do that, and he just did it, just then actually. So, but no, thank you everyone. It's terribly exciting, and look forward to enjoying it with you. Thank you.
Each year for Vivid Sydney, the iconic sales of the Sydney Opera House come to life with a spectacular projection art. And this year, Vivid Sydney, for a world first, has selected 6 Aboriginal artists to showcase their work. The narrative is about songlines, and songlines for Aboriginal people is really about us reconnecting with our spirituality and our culture. But it's also the old trade routes that interconnected all the clans and nations across the country. The 6 artists we have are world-renowned, celebrated artists. From the east we have Carla Dickens. She's a young contemporary artist, and her work is really about identity and politics, but she captures the essence of land and country and landscape. And as our songline begins in the east, we really wanted to show work of the original rock art. Sydney, of course, is home to one of the largest rock art galleries in the world. So senior curator and Bundjalung man John Mundine has a series of works that relate to those original designs from across the Sydney Basin. Another New South Wales artist, Gamilaroi man Rico Rennie, now his bold, vibrant diamond shapes are based on our old shield work, and particularly the work of our carved trees. These were in ceremonial grounds and really connect our skin markings of the East Coast and tell unique stories. We travel a little bit further across the country with the songline and we hit the Central Desert, and I'm absolutely thrilled that we have an artist, an emerging artist from the Central Desert region, Gabriella Possum. Gabriella's work is very modern, but it's based on those ancient footprints. And she's becoming known for her work with the Seven Sisters. And of course the Seven Sisters is a story that's told across the country, but reflects on many of those sky people stories we have from the cosmology that connects us to country. As we travel further west, I am really delighted that senior Warrior man, Donnie Woolagoodja, a great artist from the Kimberley region, is bringing his work of the Wandjina. Now, the Wandjina artwork is so ancient, and it's really the only style of artwork that's unique to the Kimberley region, and that work connects us all. So the stories about the East and the West, but of course our sky stories and songlines always connect us to Arnhem Land. So having the work of the late Mrs. Unipingu, Gulumbu Unipingu, whose work of course features at the Musée de Quai Branly in Paris on the ceilings, is about her star work and that connection of Yolngu people to not only Venus, but the stars that connect them to country. So it's an incredible lineup, and I'm excited because as the music pumps away inside the Sydney Opera House and creates such a hub and activity, our sales come alive with a story from the ancient to the new. It's really the Aboriginal cycle of how we travel on the winds, we continue those songlines, and they're just as relevant to us today as they were thousands of years ago. And songlines will illuminate the iconic sales at the Sydney Opera House during Vivid Sydney. And as Vivid Live pumps away that music, everyone will be entertained with something that's unique and extraordinary only to Australia.
So So thank you, Premier. And we're delighted to have Rhoda Roberts, the Director of Songlines, with us today. And I'd like to extend a warm congratulations to you and Ignatius on this fantastic collaboration between the House and Destination New South Wales. And also to you, Ignatius, 2 years ago when we talked about this, it's fantastic that your vision is finally happening. And now, with more Vivid Sydney announcements, please join with me in welcoming to the stage the Minister for Trade, Tourism and Major Events, Stuart Ayres.
Thanks, Sandra. It's fantastic to be back for another year for Vivid Sydney. I too want to recognise our traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and say, with a strong degree of passion, to echo the Premier's words just earlier, that we need to move beyond just recognising Indigenous Australians at the beginning of events such as this and make sure that they are appropriately recognised in the Australian Constitution. Premier, thank you very much for your attendance today. Your support and your leadership across New South Wales and Sydney is leaving an indelible mark on what we do as a people in this fantastic state. And Vivid Sydney is very much about embracing the creativity, the ideas and the music right across our fantastic city. We are changing the way people think about Sydney. There is no doubt in my mind that we have set a new benchmark for a city-based festival anywhere in the world. This is now the largest festival of music, light and ideas. And make no mistake, it has sent a strong signal that if you want to find a city with creativity, if you want to find a city with innovation, if you want to find a city with prosperity, no matter where you are in the world, Sydney is shining a very, very bright light to say, come and visit us, come and be part of our ideas, come and be part of our music, and come and be part of our celebration. Ignatius, thank you very much for your continued creative leadership in what is, I think, going to be one of the best, if not the best, Vivids we've ever had. We're setting a new standard. Every year we drive harder and faster, we bring more people involved, but more importantly, we're seeing more and more people across Sydney and Australia embrace the creativity that is driving the success of Vivid Sydney. I'm incredibly excited as the Minister for Trade to be here to launch this, but I'm also excited to be able to include some of the new additions to Vivid 2016. And they're celebrating two incredibly important landmarks across our city, starting with the 200th anniversary of the Botanic Gardens. And Kim Ellis, thank you very much for coming along. We're making sure that the Botanic Gardens are lit up, they're illuminated, to celebrate their garden of light. And I think we're seeing some of the renders there at the moment, with glowing trees throughout the parklands, allowing people to remember the rich history that exists with this wonderful location that started with our past leaders and also has been cherished by Sydney siders for many, many years. We've also seen the Cathedral of Light, which is now up on the screen. We're also seeing thousands of LED lights lighting right across the parklands. And across the harbour, we're celebrating another birthday, 100 years of Taronga Zoo. And just so you know, the render that we've got over here, the Sumatran tiger, is one of 5 Sumatran animals that is part of an incredibly important program that Taronga Zoo run. And we're celebrating that alongside traditional Australian animals as well. And that's about 40% of the size of the 11 renders that will be over on the parklands, on the zoo. We're also having many, many smaller sculptures right across the zoo to allow people to get in to that site and understand the importance of what Taronga Zoo has been doing for the last 100 years and continuing to do for 100 more. And one of the things that I'm incredibly excited about is the ability to bring primary school students into this program and allow them to develop their own vivid light renders. It continues to show that Sydney is right at the leading edge. It continues to show that Vivid has evolved from just being a festival of light to also being a festival of ideas. We're bringing the storytellers from around the world to Sydney. We're bringing the artists and the musicians. Vivid Live at the Opera House and the Vivid Ideas components allow us to really say to the world that Sydney is celebrating the ideas explosion that is happening across our city. The centre of innovation and ideas in the Asia Pacific is right here in Sydney, and Vivid allows us to explain that very, very clearly, if not vividly, to the world. We have a number of people that are coming out. Spike Jones is out as part of the Vivid Ideas Festival. We've also got the House of Cards creator, Beau Williamson, and as a former whip of the Parliament, I could probably add a few things, but it would be more appropriate for me to say that I couldn't possibly comment. We've also got the creator of Orange is the New Black in Genji Joe Cohan. And we've also got one of Australia's most influential and creative ideas thought leaders in Margaret Zhang. These are the people that are adding new life to Vivid. They're actually growing Vivid. They're allowing Vivid to reach so many more people than what we've been able to reach in the past. And this is making a massive contribution to the New South Wales economy. We heard some of the figures before. 1.7 million visitors. We've extended now to 23 nights. We're going to see that number grow. It generated over $63 million in visitor expenditure, making sure that the New South Wales taxpayer, who invests so heavily in this wonderful event, gets a strong return on their investment. Not just from the creativity and the innovation and the ideas, but also financially too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vivid Sydney.
Well, thank you, Minister. And now to talk us through the all-inspiring program highlights of Light, Music and Ideas for 2016, please welcome to the stage Vivid Sydney Creative Director Ignatius Jones.
Thank you, Sandra. Mr. Premier, Minister Ayres, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. As Creative Director of Vivid Sydney, my job is to work out how we will inspire while we entertain and shine a light on those emerging technologies that are changing our world and blazing the trail to tomorrow. Vivid Sydney's unique method of attracting, literally, the brightest and best in the creative industries from Australia and the world means that our challenge isn't finding the inspiration, it's managing to fit it all in. In many ways, it's like global crowdsourcing. Though through our international expression of interest, we invite light artists and tech heads, old and young, famous and unknown, students and professors, the very wise and the slightly mad, and every combination of the above, to submit their artworks to us, seeking a place in Vivid Sydney on the streets and facades of our gorgeous city. As a result, our EOI process uncovers what's hot and happening in that wonderful place where art meets technology and changes our lives. And it's often stuff even the experts haven't heard of yet. Nowhere is this more evident than in the world-renowned Vivid Light Walk, which this year features more than 60 light installations from 23 countries and 141 artists, stretching along the harbour foreshore from Circular Quay through the rocks in Walsh Bay, with another 30 major installations illuminating our other precincts. To give us a little taste of the treats in store, here is our Vivid Light curator, Antony Bastick.
In 2016, the Vivid Sydney Light Walk returns with awe-inspiring projections and installations, harnessing the latest innovations in technology to create moments to marvel. This year, the Dress Circle takes the interactive lighting of Circular Quay's spectacular buildings to a whole new level, with the eastern side of the Sydney Harbour Bridge illuminated for the first time. Interactive and multiplayer experiences will once again bring a playful theme to the Vivid Light Walk. Played in a futuristic three-dimensional space, the Wormhole Galaxy is a pinball-style collaborative game where players can collect bonus points by working together to trigger animated designs hidden in hotspots within the game. One of Sydney's oldest buildings, Cadman's Cottage, will be transformed, taking visitors to strange and mysterious lands on an imaginary vessel. Visitors become a passenger surrounded by evolving landscapes with which you can interact to create your own unique experience. The grand sandstone facade of Customs House is the setting for yet another mesmerising light art extravaganza during Vivid. the Spinifex Group returned to showcase the fantastical wonders of Sydney's hidden stories. See the stories come to life in a grand projection as an adventurous blue-tongued lizard brings a message of sustainability, leading visitors through a haunting landscape of witches and wizards, gnomes and cockatoos. Giant installations will tower over visitors in marvellous fashion, acting as beacons for visitors throughout the Lightwalk. Extrude is a 10-metre tall translucent tower that pulses with speeding beams of light when people get near. On Sydney Harbour, the popular Harbour Lights returns with illuminated vessels that change colour as they move through the harbour, creating a vivid kaleidoscope. Amidst the colour and movement, we also take time to pause and reflect. Through illumination effects and projected animations, Vision Reflection explores the space where vision and reflection collide. The Mcgraw Foundation Mosaic is a unique projection generated from thousands of images that will shine a message of support during Vivid Sydney for those touched by breast cancer. Floating on the waters of Sydney Harbour, Atlantica consists of a series of geometrically shaped islands made of discarded circuit boards and electronics, exploring the relationship between nature and technology. The striking facade of the Museum of Contemporary Art Australia is the setting for artist Hussein Sami and the artistic collective Danny Rose, who collaborate to bring us the matter of painting. This amazing projection explores Sami's themes of performance in the art of painting, transforming the MCA into a huge, vibrant canvas that appears to be carved, painted, cut and brushed in an incredible, true, multi-sensory experience. Rounding out this year's lineup of innovative and engaging installations is a light-hearted attraction that's sure to delight. Friends, couples and families can declare their love for each other from a raised platform at I Love You, where an illuminated lover-meter pulses in the shape of a giant heart. Vivid Light takes place every evening of Vivid Sydney from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. and it's all free and open for everyone to enjoy.
Thank you, Anthony. Once again this year, Vivid will shine the gentle light of creativity on Chatswood, Central Park, Darling Harbour, Martin Place, and for the first time, the galleries opposite the QVB, right in the heart of our CBD. Wildlight will transform Chatswood into the biokinetic city with interactive installations and vast projections inspired by the amazing creatures of Gondwana, the original megacontinent. Members of the audience will actually be able to get inside the high-tech dinosaur machines and stomp around their family and friends. At Sydney's much-awarded urban village Central Park, X Factory explores what it means to be an X Factory, the concept of disruptive technology and the rise of robotics, with a very witty animated journey massively projected on the facade of the heritage-listed Carlton United Brewery building, which will also feature the next wave of our architectural animators, the senior students at the University of Technology's Animation Department. As well as the best in New South Wales food and wine, Martin Place will feature some pretty fabulous light installations, including the vivid debut of the technical production team from the National Institute of Dramatic Art in an amazing piece called simply Fountain. As the world's population shoots towards 7.4 billion in 2016, this giant installation will live stream global birth rate data in the form of human water droplets. These water humans will emerge from the fountain's water jets, shooting skywards before floating to the ground and walking off into the distance. And at Darling Harbour, the Laser Dragon Water Theatre will stretch the envelope of aquatic entertainment even further. Not only will it feature 4 video-projected water screens, 56 moving fountains, 22 moving flame jets, and 10 mega lasers, but in a world first, a water screen will be mounted on a 13-metre robotic arm, allowing us to create crazy faces and animated critters, including big old dragons and manic clowns, and all to 3 amazing soundtracks from Australia's preeminent electronic duo, The Presets. Just sit down. Just next door, projected on the roof of the Australian National Maritime Museum, we're bringing a vivid favourite to the city for the first time with the award-winning story of The Nautilus and the Sea, which premiered at Chatswood in 2015 and will now wow a whole new audience. The Galleries, Sydney's hippest food and retail precinct, also joins Vivid 2016 in a blaze of sound and video. Perspectives will bring together some of the most prominent video artists from Australia and the world in a dazzling installation spread throughout the complex. A massive LED screen, shattered into 18 large fragments, will create an immersive galaxy of colour, light, art and movement. But light isn't the only area where Vivid has been expanding its engagement with Sydney's creative industries. Last year, Vivid Music reached out to those parts of our city where new music is actually being made, the creative precincts stretching from Darlinghurst to the inner west. Vivid Music's ticket sales went from 40,000 to 90,000 in 1 year, and Vivid Music is set to grow even more in 2016. To tell us more, here is the curator of Vivid Music, Stephen Ferris.
Vivid Music returns in 2016 with an expanded program featuring new venues and showcasing the creativity of Sydney's music culture. Vivid at Carriageworks leads the inner city lineup with a contemporary program featuring international avant-garde artist Björk. Björk Digital is a new virtual reality project from the Icelandic musician, produced in collaboration with some of the finest filmmakers and programmers in the world. This innovative project will make its world premiere at Vivid Sydney. Björk herself will curate a one-off music event at Carriageworks, where she will DJ with special guests. The inaugural Curve Ball, a large-scale live music and art event created by Fuzzy Music, will take over Carriageworks with 8 hours of musical performances across 2 stages. One-off events that simply can't be missed are exciting highlights of this year's Vivid Music program. Australian music legends and all chart toppers, The Models, Machinations and The Reels' Dave Mason have re-emerged to perform an exclusive Vivid Sydney show at the Enmore Theatre. This year, the Sydney Conservatorium of Music will make its Vivid Music debut with a genre-bending mash of vibrant new music. Co-presented with Triple J, Come Together is Aussie hip-hop as it should be. Loud, proud and in your face. One Day Sundays features a rotating cast of Australia's premier DJs playing hip-hop, R&B and soul, as well as some of the country's top artists painting a live graffiti mural at the Factory Theatre. Sydney's best Soul Train experience returns with DJs, dancers and artists coming together for Soul of Sydney, a Vivid second edition. At Heaps Gay, expect the unexpected with a huge lineup at the Factory Theatre. The sold-out show in 2015 featured more than 50 artists, dancers, performers and musicians across 3 rooms. Newcomers are set to shine this year with innovative programming from new Vivid Music venues. Cake Wine's Cellar Door will present a program that celebrates wine and culture in a renovated warehouse backed by the cutting-edge folks from White Rabbit Gallery in Chippendale. Newtown's Social Club will become a playground of light and live music with touring and international artists in the band room. With more programming still to be announced, Vivid Music in 2016 will showcase local and international talent and provide a bold, provocative and diversified lineup through more venues than ever before, offering something for all music lovers.
Thank you, Stephen. And of course, Vivid Sydney's blockbuster music lineup also includes Vivid Live at the Sydney Opera House. Here's Vivid Live curator Ben Marshall with this year's highlights.
Vivid Live is a festival that celebrates ambition, scale and artistic excellence in the art form of contemporary music. It's a transformative festival. It completely takes over the Opera House, every venue, every rehearsal space, every hallway, and it involves artists who are interested in stretching the concept of performance, of realising things that they probably couldn't realise anywhere else. This year Vivid Live has 15 Sydney-only performances. The new order of the band rose from the ashes of Joy Division, making a huge stamp across contemporary music. We ought to continue this lineage of Vivid Live, presenting iconic artists like The Cure, the Pixies and Morrissey, as well as being a genre-transcending electronic act in the same vein of Kraftwerk and Giorgio Moroder. We're thrilled they're bringing something so special to Vivid Live. Oliver burst out of the indie rock scene about 10 years ago with his singular and incredibly affecting voice, and we're genuinely honoured that he's bringing a specially designed 360-degree in-the-round performance called Circle just for Vivid Live. Anoni, formerly known as Antony Hegarty from Antony the Johnsons, is one of the most powerful artists working in contemporary music today. She's made this incredible record with cutting-edge electronic producers Hudson Mohawk and One-Tricks Point Never. She's created this unbelievably special show that involves huge screens, costumes, and I don't think many other places in the world could stage a performance on this scale.
Watch this pretty girl flow!
Esperanza Spalding is an incredibly accomplished jazz bassist, cellist and singer, and her new album is a wonderful, playful exploration of transformation, self and character that she's converted into a very theatrical show that really is perfect for Vivid Live. The British-German composer Max Richter is unveiling a live performance of his 8-hour opus Sleep, performed overnight for 2 nights in the Jones Sutherland Theatre Northern Foyer. And the festival also features a broad range of interesting, varied and ambitious musical performers. Vivid Live isn't just about the performances on the stage. And I'm very proud that my colleague Rhoda Roberts, the Sydney Opera House's head of Indigenous programming, is putting together this year's Lighting of the Sails, an amazing piece with Destination New South Wales. We're incredibly excited about Vivid Live this year. It's a genuinely unique way to experience the Opera House, and a big thanks to our partners, Destination New South Wales.
Thank you, Ben. Vivid Sydney, of course, is not just sound and light. Our festival also has a brilliant brain, and the person keeping that brain in shape is the curator of Vivid Ideas, Jess Scully, to take us through the most thought-provoking Vivid Ideas yet. Here's Jess.
Championing culture, technology and innovation, Vivid Ideas brings together world-class leaders and thinkers across the creative industries, and you're invited to join the conversation. Returning in 2016, the Game Changers Talk series invites you to join conversations with people shaping the creative landscape. Beau Willimon is the creator of House of Cards. Willimon shares insights into crafting drama and explains the process behind producing quality content in this Australian exclusive event. Genji Cohen is the creator and writer behind Orange is the New Black. Cohen will reveal her creative approach to storytelling and crafting unforgettable characters. Spike Jonze is a director, producer, writer and photographer. Recognised for his feature films, Jones's body of work is varied, including music videos, commercials, television and theatre. Margaret Jang has built a global fan base for her work as a stylist, photographer and creative director. Margaret shares her journey and explains her approaches to collaborations and working with brands. Across the city, creative conferences will dive into the business of innovation and imagination. The Sunrise delves deeper into the future of technology, business, and fostering an innovative startup ecosystem. The Media Architecture Biennale 2016 will bring together global artists, civic leaders and academics to explore how using technology and digital media can shape more exciting, livable city environments. Make Nice is an event for, by and about creative women. Make Nice is about sharing knowledge and forming meaningful connections and collaborations. Conscious Changemakers is a dynamic summit exploring the idea that good business is good for everyone. Be inspired by creative pioneers at Remix Sydney, where the future of culture, cities and the creative economy will be explored. Semi-Permanent is throwing out the lectern with a series of interactive, immersive experiences with thinkers from Google, Netflix, Facebook and many more. Whether you have an interest in creating and making, storytelling, education, community and social impact, or STEM and STEAM, our knowledge hub at the MCA, the Vivid Ideas Exchange, is full of great events that will inspire your imagination. Be inspired by our many events, connect with the vanguard of the knowledge economy, and unlock your creative potential at Vivid Ideas.
I'd really like to thank all the amazing Vivid curators. I think you'll agree this is going to be the biggest and brightest Vivid yet. Everyone is talking about making Australia the innovation nation. But here at Vivid, we're actually doing it. At Vivid Sydney, we bring you tomorrow, today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ignatius. Well, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Vivid Sydney in 2016 is certainly going to be a spectacular event. To all of you in the creative industries, thank you for your support, your collaboration, your tremendous enthusiasm, and of course, sharing your extraordinary talent. To those of you who've been watching at home for the live stream, thank you for joining us. In closing, I want to say that on behalf of everybody here, we are looking forward to seeing you all here in Sydney on the 27th of May. On 26th, I'll get an extra bed night. Okay, for Lights On at 6 o'clock on the 27th of May for 23 glorious days and nights. Now, that concludes the formal proceedings. I would ask the Premier and the Minister up on stage, please, and our creative directors for some photo opportunities. Thank you all for attending today, and please stay and enjoy the hospitality, and we look forward to seeing you at Vivid. Thank you.